Most of the videos I've made about military rations have focused on MREs, or meals ready to eat. But in the days before MREs were introduced, the US military had something called C-Rations, or combat rations. I was doing a little research on the topic, and the C-Rations actually were only produced until 1958, and they were replaced by the MCI, or Meal Combat Individual. But for the most part, these were still called C-Rations. And these were produced until 1980. After that, the MREs were introduced. In the early 80s, they had these brown bag versions, which were later replaced by these tan versions. But today, we're going to take a look at some of the old MCIs, or C-Rations. With these two here, you can see they have $1 written on them. I'm pretty sure that I bought these when I was a kid in the early 80s at a yard sale. I don't remember getting them, but they've been with me ever since. And it's kind of hard to date these. I'm not exactly sure. It's not as easy as dating an MRE, which has the convenient date code. But they did stop producing MCIs in 1980, so these have to be at least 34 years old. I'm filming this in 2014. I don't expect that they're much older than that, but it's certainly possible. I did take a look inside of these, and I noticed that the main menu, the chicken or turkey boned and the beef with spice sauce, are switched over in these. I used to play with these when I was a kid, when I was playing Army, and at some point everything came out of these and got put back in at different points. So this isn't really an exactly historically correct look at one of these, but we're going to do one at a time. And just because of this interesting discoloration on here, I have a feeling I'm not going to be eating anything out of these, but we're going to take a look at everything. Because of this discoloration, it's even affecting this tape that was put on here probably 25 years ago. I figured I'd go with this one first, the one that says chicken or turkey boned. I don't expect that either of these are totally complete, but one thing I did find when I found these, they were in a box with a bunch of other old MREs and stuff like that, some loose C-Ration cans and a few other things. And I had this one bag that had a bunch of old MRE accessory packs in it. Two of them looked a lot worse for wear than the rest, so I actually took those out with the intention of throwing them away, and I wanted to take a look at them first, and I realized after I opened them, which unfortunately this is already open, that they had actually come from the C-Rations. So I sort of put it back in here just to make it as complete as possible. So let's take a look at this and see what's in here. We have the accessory pack. And they didn't have any letters on these, it's just accessory packet. It says it has matches, chewing gum, toilet paper, instant coffee, cream substitute, sugar, and salt. And you can see this is the reason I must throw them away, because the material is coming off of the, it's like a plastic coating on this metallic material, and it's sort of separating. Actually, you can see it pretty good right here. So the age has definitely taken its toll on this thing. But it was complete. I did open it up. You can see we do have everything in here. This is the instant coffee before they started putting in the commercial ones. Type 1. I don't know if there's other types or not. Non-dairy cream substitute. Sugar. A little bit of staining up here. Not exactly sure what that's from. Salt, that looks fine. Still loose in there. A little toilet paper. Matches. And probably the most interesting thing in here is this beech nut, or Beechies gum. I'm assuming it's from beech nut. Yep. Candy coated gum. They still put gum in MREs to this day, but the packaging now looks like this. It's kind of a neat little historical look back at something different in the old rations. So that's our accessory pack. And I actually did try one of these. This, the matches look a lot like MRE matches. They haven't really changed much over the years. They have the exact same message on them too, even. This color's slightly different, and now they tend to make brown ones. This is from 2008. But this one is at least from 1980. Could be a little bit older. So let's see if these 34-year-old matches work. And they work just fine. Alright, so as I mentioned, I actually used these when I was playing Army, so here we have a couple fuel ration heating individual hexamine. And same thing here, just different packaging. And this is something I must have got at a yard sale or an Army-Navy store with the intention of eating these. I do have a picture of myself from the early 1980s actually cooking a C-Ration in our backyard when I was a kid. These appear to be full, so I don't think I used these tabs for that. I'll put those off to the side since they're not really part of the meal. C-Rations came with a little plastic spoon. It's the same kind of spoon that was in the early MREs too. And we'll get into the interesting stuff in here. Here is a can of, there's the remnants in here. It's a can of applesauce. I don't know, but this, I guess there's some leakage here. I'm not sure if that's from this can or not. Yeah, it looks like it was coming out of here at some point. Whoa, that's weird. It feels like there's a solid something in here that's taking up most of the space. Maybe a little bit of wetness in there. I wouldn't even say liquid, but this should be very interesting to check out. Applesauce. There's a little separating piece of cardboard. Now there would have been probably crackers or a pound cake, or if it was crackers, it'd probably be like a cheese spread or something. So this is definitely not complete. But here is the main entree, which should have been in this one. But as I said, I switched it at some point. And this is beef with spiced sauce. And that definitely does not look appetizing. I don't even know what's on there. You can see the point where the can was put together. There's actually holes in there. There's something in here. It feels similar to the applesauce solidified thing, except I don't feel any liquid. But yeah, there's not too much left of this can. Bottom's not quite as bad. There's some rust on the side here. In addition to that, you also have all this rust here on the top and the bottom. I mentioned I'm not really sure about dating these. This one has 1404 on the top of it. I don't know if you can see that or not. This one, I'm not even sure. It has something here. It looks like a... I can't even make out the numbers, but it has a few numbers on there. They don't really seem to be telling me anything particularly interesting. And that's all that's in this one. So I know there should be more of a complete meal, but we're going to check out this beef spiced with sauce and the applesauce, just for the fun of it. As I was getting this ready, I realized I completely forgot one thing. I thought this didn't come with it, but as I mentioned, these are not complete C-Rations. I did play with them quite a bit as a kid, but in addition to this cardboard separator in here, there was one more item in here which I failed to notice right away. And that's because these came in cans. All the C-Rations or MCIs would come with their own can opener. I wish this hadn't been stained, because this is actually pretty cool. This is might be my favorite part of this whole thing. It's an old P38 can opener. Still in the envelope. I think I'm going to leave that one in there. I do have a brand new P38 that I got from an Army Navy store a few months ago, more or less with the idea of opening these packages here. So although I'm not expecting to eat anything out of this, I figured I could go ahead and make up the coffee. Yeah, I might even give that a little try. Still looks like instant coffee. Ooh. It's either real bad coffee or it's not still good. I don't really know how bad instant coffee can get. This little black thing in here. I'll take that out, whatever it is. There's a little white thing in here too. Anyway, get the coffee, creamer. Wow, this stuff, I don't know, it smells like, it doesn't smell like food, I'll tell you that. The sugar's still loose in here. And it's still perfectly white. That doesn't smell very good either. I can't really blame them for not smelling good after 40 years, but it's just kind of surprising. Now let's check what happens if we add some hot water to this. It's alive. I mentioned before that I'm not a coffee drinker. I think I'm going to take a chance and just have a little teeny sip of this. I mean, this stuff is all dry. It shouldn't be anything in there that could be really particularly bad. But even if this is perfect, I'm still probably not going to like it. It's because I don't drink coffee in general. But let me just get that a little taste. Yeah, it pretty much tastes like coffee. I wouldn't say good coffee, but it does taste like coffee. For it to taste even remotely like coffee after 44 plus years, I'd consider that a good sign. Now it's time for the real fun. Just in case this little teeny spoon here isn't enough to handle what we're going to find in these cans, while I was looking through some of my old stuff, I did find an old US mess kit fork. Unfortunately, I don't have the spoon or the knife that would have nestled in here with them, but it's still a pretty neat thing to have. It doesn't have a date on it. But now comes the fun part. I'm going to attempt to open this applesauce can. There's definitely something in there. The trusty P38. If I can get it onto here. This thing doesn't have much of a lip on it. You know what? For whatever reason, this can doesn't want to work with this new P38. So luckily, the other C-Ration box did have an old one in it. It didn't look too much different. This one seems to work a little bit better. Alright, so now's the moment of truth. A new one opens from the bottom. Well, that's good, nothing shot out. Doesn't seem to smell like anything. Huh, you know what? It smells like applesauce. Strangely enough. But what is it going to look like? Wow, look at that. Jesus. Can looks nice on the top. Weird, it's not corroded or anything. Well, maybe a little bit around here. And it really does smell like, well, more or less smells like applesauce. Alright. This thing at one time was applesauce. Wow, that is pretty gross. There's some 34-plus-year-old applesauce. It's sitting in this can, just waiting for somebody to open it. And I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have just thrown the thing out. Oh my god. That is really bad. But I do have to say, despite the nastiness of all this, the coffee does smell more or less like coffee, and the applesauce does smell kind of like applesauce. The beef with spice sauce might be a different story, though. I don't know if you can see this, how it actually has holes in it. So yeah, I think there's a little hole here too. So the good thing is I'm not expecting this to explode either because it doesn't have any air trapped in it. But let's see what we have with this one. The applesauce smell is not the most pleasant thing after all. Whoa, this does still have a smell to it. Oh man. I was thinking it might not, but it does. This is bad. I'm not sure how to describe the smell yet. Let me get this open first. Wow, look at that. Oh my god. Oh, that's bad. It has a very slight smell of beef to it. I mean, you can almost tell it's what it was supposed to be. I hate to say this. I don't know if it's the can or just the stuff in there in general, but it smells a lot like SpaghettiOs. Take what you want out of that. Definitely has a canned meat smell to it. Doesn't smell like canned meat, but it has something that's reminiscent of canned meat in there. Wow. 35 years ago that was edible. Not anymore. Not for a long time. Alright, I don't think I'm going to do anything else with this. It's a weird smell. That's what it looks like on the inside. I suppose you could say this doesn't look that much different from what you get in MREs, but yeah, there's a difference. It's not something good. So that was a look at a MCI, Meal Combat Individual, or C-Ration. Actually beef with spice sauce. From 1980 or earlier, at least 34 years old. And if you'll forgive me, I'm going to have to cut this short now so I can get rid of this stuff. It smells not a good thing to have around.